So I'm here with Dafna Lender, who is a Theraplay trainer and who works with kids and families. I'm going to start by asking you um, what play means to you, and why is play important?
It's the way that trust and connection and safety is transmitted. And it's the first way that we experience intersubjectivity and being known. Like if a baby reflexively sticks out her tongue as at 6 weeks old, and then her parent says, "Oh, can you do that again?" And then
Yeah.
sticks her tongue out, and the baby's like, "Oh my gosh, my parent is so motivated. I really want to respond to her." And then it motivates the baby to form the lip muscles and the tongue muscles and get that knowledge to the parent. I'm doing this for you. And together we have this shared connection. That is what makes a person feel alive and connected. And it just gives you that sense of I'm not alone in the world, and there's joy and connection. And that just radiates out into like rings. It gets to preschool and beyond, and romantic relationships and beyond. So it's just, to me, it's just the essence of connection.
We've been getting a lot of people writing us saying,
Mhm.
hey, is this for adults? Is this for kids? And I know from the workshops that I teach, people come with so much inhibition and shame around play, feeling that they can't get it right, feeling that somehow their faults will be exposed, that they're humiliating themselves, or somehow debasing themselves by acting in a playful way.
Right.
And I wonder what you have to say about that. I mean, do the things that you do with kids actually, do you do those with adults too?
Yes. So that is, I do the exact same activities with children
Yeah.
and as parents, as adults. Why? You know that on the surface we're adults, and on the inside, this deep, we're children. You know that. All of us know that. It's like the basic, the basics of humanity, of like being human. With kids, play has to do with touch, like wrestling, or chasing, and then like tagging, or holding the kid, or whatever, playing peekaboo. You're holding their hands and going peekaboo with their hands or with their feet
Yeah.
or whatever.
Even patty cake. Yeah.
Yeah, patty cake. So the touch is done well in an activity, is a vehicle for experiencing good touch, that it's so natural within the activity that it lowers one's defenses, because like the brain is like, oh, this is okay within this context. And then to realize, and for people who have a hard time with touch, to realize, okay, I experienced it. I survived it. I even maybe savored it to some degree. And what are those elements that made me feel like safe and connected, and that you deserve touch.
Mm-hmm.
So play is just a really good vehicle for that, since, as I said, it like disarms the brain, right? Because
Yeah.
it's part of the activity.
I remember seeing a film, and I don't know who the therapist was in the film. It might even have been you,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a film of a mother whose 11-year-old child was playing baby games, and she thought that it was infantilizing her daughter. And the therapist was saying, well, let me show you what we're doing. Was that you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a moment where I think you sing to her or you touch her face or something, and I suddenly found myself crying. I still feel teary just telling you about it. It was such a beautiful moment where you can see that she actually got something with you in that moment that she maybe had never gotten as a child. I mean, and it was such a profound a recognition of what was happening, that she agreed that her daughter should have that. It
Gosh,
was
it
so
makes me feel
powerful.
So moving that it's like I'm really moved inside that you remember that.
Oh,
Um,
profoundly.
yeah,
It,
because the mom didn't believe that she had the capacity to connect with her daughter on that level and was so paralyzed, frightened from her daughter, and so she wasn't able to reach out. And like when we reviewed, like, look at this, she is seeking you out. She was like, she looked at her at and she was like, I can't believe it, like I can't believe it. I said, this is not fake. You can't fake this. And it
yeah,
really opened up, like we talked about her history, we talked about her capacity that she is able to connect. And it really had a breakthrough at home, that when her daughter was crying in her room, the mom was like able to, with more courage, come in and sit with her daughter and give her like a touch on the back and things. And it was like a breakthrough. Other things, other we did a lot of other things, but that was, you're recollecting a moment that was like a, a seminal moment in the whole therapy that I showed. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That it was powerful, and I know that this play-based healing workshop is in part directed at people who work with children, but I just think that what you guys are teaching is stuff that every adult could use a refresher on, and that many adults didn't get much of or got none of, that they really need to be able to acquire as a language of interaction. Because play is a skill that moves you through life and engages you in a way that you can see what your options and choices are. And I think that you're talking about very visceral, in the moment, physical interactions, but there's also this element of imagination that's so hugely important, and our permission to use our imagination, which
Sure.
a lot of people lose or never fully develop their permission to use their imagination. And I wonder if you could say something about that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's your imagination and creativity is literally what sets you, makes you alive, sets you apart, like inspires you, allows you to transmit like your ideas and and connect with people. And so the way I see it is, in order to have that creativity unlocked and the imagination unlocked, you first need to have that connection and safety. So the play, it doesn't have to be like play, like playing patty cake or doing special handshake. It's like you can do it in your interaction at the grocery store. There's no doubt about that. It's like that spontaneity and that rhythm and, the smiles and the facial expressions, that needs to be there in order for you to have that creativity. So I just see it as
Yeah,
levels. Like,
yeah,
I focus on this really primary level. That's the most basic at the bottom of the triangle. And then after that, there's creativity and imagination and expansiveness and sharing ideas and images.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And hopefully sometimes even wonder.
Yeah, yes. Wonder and
Wonder.
curiosity and like
Yeah,
spiritual
yeah.
level.